I was just wondering if I could share my experience.
Yes, we'd love you to.
Just from hurting my ankle, all I did was fall over on my ankle, tear some ligaments. I've been in a wheelchair for, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. After about 3 or 4 weeks, I ended up with a DVT in my leg. Whoa. And it was 3 centimetres, so deep vein thrombosis. And just like, yep, deal with it, whatever. And they said, oh, it's dangerous, but it'll be fine, 1%. It only happens in 1%, but it could go to your lungs. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's not going to happen. And just thinking, forget about it. And then I was at work. I actually got back to work, got back on my feet, got back to work. One night I was there, fine. Second night I was there. The afternoon I'd had a really bad chest. I had struggled to breathe. And I was working, and it got to about midnight, and I finally got my patients to bed. And I'm like a bit breathless, like I am now. I've just had caffeine, and it's the first time I've had caffeine for ages, and it's making my heart race. I was like, and one of my people who I work with sent me downstairs because I work in a hospital. So downstairs to the hospital, kept me there all the time. Anyway, after a long deal with, they finally said, you've got pulmonary embolisms everywhere, all over your lungs, scattered. And I'm like, okay. And I went, what does that mean? And they went, well, it's very serious, you could die. And I'm like, no, not going to happen. So anyway, got to that situation, managed to get home because there's nothing they can do. Got home. I was there for a couple of days. I was getting sicker and sicker. I could feel I was struggling to breathe. And I just got to a stage, I was lying in bed one night with the DVT in my leg. They said, that'll take, it should be fine, it'll take between 6 weeks and 6 months, something like that, to heal. What happens is just cell by cell, it just breaks off and it'll disappear, just gradually dissolves. That's all, and there's nothing we can do. I'm on blood thinners, but there's nothing else you can do. So I'm lying in bed, and I couldn't breathe. I was sitting up in bed because I couldn't breathe properly. And I just went, this is it, okay, this is bad. And I just went, okay, because I've had alien abduction experiences, I've had angelic experiences, I've had near-death, I've had the litany of all the experiences, whatever you want to label them as. And I lay there and I just went, this is it. 4 o'clock in the morning it was by now, and I went, this is it. Whoever you are, aliens, gods, anything, I don't care, this is the time you need to intervene. This is it. I said, I'm sick of it now. I've had all this crap, you've been in and out with my life and all this. Now is the time. So I finally felt, I was watching some video about spies because I was trying to just take my mind off the breathing. I fell asleep, and I'd only been asleep about 15 minutes in total, maybe 20 absolutely, or what I think was asleep. I'm in this very big dark black room, and there's black, it's not white lights or any of that stuff. So you read into that what you want. There's black boxes everywhere, and there's this big being, big woman. Well, she seemed female. She had long blonde hair. She was probably about 7, 8 feet tall, something like that. And she had her back to me, and there's things around. She's got the big white robe on, the same, and she's got her back to me, and I went, oh, excellent, a tall white, I can interview you. Now, this is and that's exactly what I said. Yeah, well, of course it is. Get the interview. So I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh, and she sort of half turns, and it's like an opalescent skin, blue eyes, but very big ones, but definitely humanoid. And she's like, no, we're here for you. And I'm like, what? So I'm in this sitting position, but I'm not sitting on anything, I'm floating. And I I'm turned round, so it's like I'm being manoeuvred, manipulated. And of course she spoke to me telepathically. There's these 2 big black doors in front. The doors open, and I'm like, oh, cool, where am I going? I was quite excited. And there's this massive auditorium, seats everywhere, and people in all the seats. But I'm thinking, I'm not looking at the people, And then there's this big corridor down the end, and at the front is the life review. There is the big screen, and I'm recognising all these things in my life, and I go, oh, no way, don't you do this to me. And I'm like saying this, and I can feel all these beings around me, and they push me to the front, right to the front, and I'm still in a sitting position, and I look up and I go, nah, not looking, and I turn to the left, and I'm sitting at the front of this massive auditorium, all these things, it's black everywhere, very dark, but this is it, this is the thing, and I'm going, no. And I just go, you're not doing this. That was it, I just went, you're not doing this. And suddenly I go flying back from the left, flying back, the doors go, whoop, and slam again, and she's standing there. She turns around and I go, can I get the interview now? So I'm like, this is not happening. Can I get the interview now? And she's like, no, this is for you. And I feel all these beings around me. I don't see these other ones, just her. And she does have a very tiny mouth, but not much, no emotions, nothing like that. But I do feel like love, like care. And she puts on something like a little headset around my head, metal, and it goes under my chin. And I'm thinking, hang on, I'm supposed to be doing, doing the interviewing, what are you doing type of thing. And it's all by telepathy. And there's still block boxes, and I recognise that they're like, there's probably things in them. There's something there all around me. But it's like it's just a foyer of a big auditorium. And I'm still in this sitting position, floating. And she gets this metal piece, and it's got a big ball on it, about that big, metal ball, and she puts it into my mouth, and I taste aniseed, like a real aniseed metallic taste, and I go, whoa, no way, and I take it out, I'm like, aniseed, take it out, and I go, no, and she went, we are healing you, this is for you, and I go, okay, and she just pops it back in, with fingers, she pops it back in, and that's it, bam, I'm awake. And then I suddenly feel people everywhere, all over me, things touching me. And I wake up and I go, oh my God, Steve, wake him up, shake him up. Oh my God, because I don't want to lose this experience. And I'm like, and already I'm feeling, and it could be just because I was emotional, but I was like, oh my goodness, I think I've just had a near-death healing experience. And I tell them all about it. Already I'm starting to feel like I can breathe better. I mean, it was really weird. Not perfect, but definitely a lot better. And then I do manage to have another bit of a sleep, finally. And that day, I'm definitely feeling better. The next day, I've got an appointment to have a scan on my leg, which was already booked in to have it with the DET before that even, this was booked in before the pulmonary embolisms. And so I go along, and I'm thinking, oh, God, the last thing I need is for them to say anything more bad, just thinking. Anyway, I go with my daughter, and I'm thinking, I don't feel like there's anything there anymore. And I say that to my daughter before we go in, and she's like, "Oh, Mummy, they told you this and that. Don't be getting so excited," type of thing. Anyway, the woman does the scan, and she keeps looking, and she goes, she checks the file, and she goes, there's nothing there. There's no evidence. Now, this is 3 centimetres. There's no evidence of it being there. She can't believe it. And she's like, it's gone. And she even checks the other veins and stuff just to make sure that they haven't written it down wrong or anything. But, they had all the evidence. And so then my doctor phones up, and so she says, there's nothing there. You have no DVT. So the doctor then phones up in the evening, and he just leaves a message, and he just goes, oh, you wouldn't believe it. You've got nothing there. I can't believe it. It's impossible, but you've got nothing. He's really excited because I've had so much bad luck in the last 3 times. He kept saying, no chance of this happening, no chance, and then it's all happened. So I think whether it was self-healing, because I kept putting myself into a meditative state to try and self-heal every day to make sure that I didn't die, because I didn't want to leave my kids. I'm not going to the effing light. Or, so it could have been something, or whether it really was the beings who I've had lots of different experiences with in different guises that came and finally intervened because I said, this is it. This is it, and that's it. It's not going to happen. But there's physical evidence. I mean, this only happened 2.5 weeks ago. I mean, 2.5 weeks ago, how could I breathe? Not hard. I was like, it was, and coughing, because if you imagine, you've got clots, hundreds of little ones, they said, all over my lungs.
Catholic, that would be a miracle, too.
Yeah.
Well, it's a miracle. I'm not Catholic, but it's a miracle.
Yeah.
But you can't be Catholic.
It was alien intervention in what I considered definitely was, obviously I have this paradigm in my mind that you get shown, you get taken somewhere. I didn't know it was going to be a big auditorium, but you get shown your life review, and all this sort of stuff. So
was it good what you saw?
No, I recognised the pictures, and I'm going, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not participating. And as I say, I sat there to the left, refusing to look and refusing to look at all the people who were around me, because I know who they were, all people who I've interacted with, everything. I refused. I just went, this is not happening. No. I mean, I really did feel my life force go. But I was fighting it every way, and
So you just proved the fact that we can all say no to it.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way, just for total selfish reasons, I'm not going to leave my kids until I'm ready to.
Yes. Thanks for sharing.